Good morning, my friends. We are on lesson 18, page 85. Please make sure that you are turning to the correct page. So, the question right here states that multiply using fraction form and unit form. So fraction form is when you write it as a fraction and unit form is when you write it as a standard algorithm. So this is what a unit form looks like, okay? And this is your fraction form. So over here, fraction form, right here we have your unit form. And the first one is done for you. And they want you to check your answer by counting the decimal places. So we're going to make sure we make use of the decimal places to count where the decimal should go. So we have 33 tenths. How do I know that it's in the tenths place? Because when I use my place value chart, I know that the 3 is in the tenths place. So I'm writing down tenths just in case someone forgets. And the 6 as well is in the tenths place. So I'm writing down tenths. So we have 33 tenths and 16 tenths. Now we're going to multiply 33 times 16 together in order to get our answer. So first I'm going to multiply 3 times 6. And when I multiply 3 times 6, I get 18. Don't forget to carry the 1. And then when I multiply 3 times 6, I also get 18 and I add 1, which gives me 19. So I have 198 in the first row. Now I'm going to add my 0 because I'm multiplying in the tens place now. Cross off this 1. 1 times 3 is 3 and 1 times 3 again is 3. 8 plus 0 is equal to 8. 9 plus 3 is equal to 12. Don't forget to carry your 1, bring down your 2. 3 times 1, or 3 plus 1 is equal to 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So I have 5 and 28 hundredths. And looking at this decimal right here, it's in between 3, and the decimal for 16 hundredths is in between the 1 and 6. So if I move my decimal over once and my decimal over once here, that means that I moved it over 2 times. So I have plus 1, plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so I'm going to move my decimal over 2 times. So we get 5.28 or 5 and 28 hundredths. Okay, now moving on to the next problem. First, I'm going to multiply. Notice that the 3 is in the tenths and the 8 is also in the tenths place. I'm multiplying my numerator first, so we have 33 times 8, and then I'm multiplying my denominator, 10 times 10, which is equal to 100. 33 times 8 is equal to 264. When I multiply it together, I get my final answer of 2 and 64 hundredths. Now, I'm going to make sure I show you guys that by using the standard algorithm. Remember, the decimal is in between 3 and 3, and this one is also right here. So that means that you need to move your decimal over twice because you moved it over once in this row and once in this row. So that means I need to move my answer over 2 times, my decimal over 2 times. So 3 times 8 is equal to 24. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. And again, move over your decimal and you get 2 and 64 hundredths or 264 hundredths. Now going on to problem C. Notice that the 4 is in the tenths and also that the 2 is in the tenths place. Because it is in the tenths place, then our denominator is also going to be in the tenths place. Okay? And I'm going to multiply 44 times 32, which gives me 1,408. 1,408, and 10 times 10 is equal to 100. When I write that as a decimal, I notice that it says 1,408 hundredths. So your 8 needs to be in the hundredths place because your denominator is hundredths. Now, writing it as a standard algorithm, I have 4.4 times 3.2. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 again is 8. Bring down your 0 because you're multiplying in your tens place. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. 3 times 4 again is equal to 12. Plus 1 is 13. Add everything together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 2 is equal to 10. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4, and break down your 1. How many times would I move my decimal over? Notice that I moved it once, plus 1, plus 1, so I need to move it over twice. 1, 2, so that means that your decimal is going to be 14.08. Now, the moving decimals is a review, but if you don't remember, make sure you are asking me for help on that one. Now, next I have 2 and 2 tenths, or 22 tenths times 16 tenths. So I'm multiplying 22 tenths times 16 tenths. Wonder why that didn't show up. I think I wrote the wrong numbers here, so I'm going to erase it and do it again. Which happens. So we have 22 tenths and 16 tenths. So I'm multiplying 22 times 10. Let me fix that. So hard to erase pens. So I'm writing down 22 times 10. This one I need to get another one. 22 times 10. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 2 again is 0. Bring down my 0. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 2 is 2. I'm going to add everything together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. Bring down my 2. Notice that there is a decimal in between both of them. So I moved it over once. And I also moved it over once right here. So I need to move it over twice because 1 plus 1 is 2. 1, 2. So I get 2.20. But I'm going to write that number down first. Oh, 22 times 16. Silly Miss Tran, why did you put 0? So 6 times 2, let me do this again. Oh my. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 2 again is 12, plus 1 is 13. Bring down your 0. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 2 again is equal to 2. Now add all of your numbers together. You have 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 1 plus 2 is 3. Bring your decimal over twice. And you get 3.52. Or you can also write right here, 352 hundredths. So that means that I would write it as 3 and 52 hundredths. That's my final answer. Okay, now I'm just going to highlight. First, I multiplied 22 times 16, which gives me 352. And then I multiplied in my denominator 10 times 10, which is equal to 100. Okay, and notice that my denominator is in the hundreds, so I'm making sure that my 2 is also in the hundreds. You can also do it this way for standard algorithm. Number 2 says here that you need to multiply using fraction form and unit form. So you're doing the same thing. The first one is partially done for you as an example. So we have 6 times 4 is equal to 24. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 14. Don't forget to bring down your 4. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Bring down your 0 because now you're multiplying in your tens place. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And again, 1 times 3 is 3. Add your numbers together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 times 6, or 4 plus 6 is 10. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. Now, for this one, the decimal is in between the 3's, and there is another decimal right here. So this one you're moving over 2 times, and this one you're moving over once. So you need to move your decimal over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So we get 4.704, or 4 and 704 thousandths. So if you were to do it the fraction form way, you are going to multiply 336 times 14, and that is going to give you 4,704, and you multiply 100 times 10, it's going to give you 1,000. On this side over here, I have 335 times 7. So I'm writing that down. We have 5 times 7, which is 35. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 22. Right? 21 plus 2 is 21, 23, 24, 25. And 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. Okay, so we have 335 times 7, which is equal to 2,345. And 100 times 10 is equal to 1,000. And I am moving my decimal over based on how many decimal points there are. So for this one, you're moving it over 1, 2. For this one, you're moving it over once. So you need to move over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's where your decimal will be. So your final answer is 2 and 345 thousandths. Moving on to problem C, we have 404 hundredths times 32 tenths. So first I'm going to multiply my numerator, which gives me 1,000 or 12,928, and my denominator is 1,000, and in the end we get 12 and 928 thousandths. I need to multiply on the side. 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 4 is 8. Bring down your 0 because you're multiplying in your tens place. 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, don't forget that 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Adding everything together, I have 8 plus 0 is 8, 2 plus 0 is 2, 8 plus 1 is 9, bring down your 2, bring down your 1. You need to move your decimal over 2 times right here, and for this one, you are moving it over once. So we get 3 altogether, so I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3. We get 12.928 thousandths. Now for D, we're going to multiply. We have 44 times 16, and on the bottom I have 10 times 100. So 44 times 16, multiply on the side right here. 4 times 6 is 24. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 is 26. Bring down your 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4 again. Add everything together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Bring down your 0. You need to move your decimal over twice. So I have 1, 2. Oh, this is 0.16. So you actually have to move this twice and this one once. So that is going to give you your decimal right there, which is 0.704, or you can say it as 704 thousandths. My pens are not working today. Let me choose another one. Turning the page. We're on page 86. On page 86, it asks you to solve using the standard algorithm. Show you're thinking about the units of your product. The first one is done for you. So right here we have 32 tenths times 6 tenths. And they solved it this way, and they also solved it other ways. So same thing as you were doing earlier, but just this time your fraction is on this side and your multiplication is on this side. So I'm going to multiply. I'm going to put my decimals. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Bring down your 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 plus 0 is 3. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 4, you bring it down. You need to move your decimal over once right here and another time right here. That is going to give you 4.83 hundredths. So for the fraction, you're multiplying your numerator. 23 times 21, which we got right here, is 483. And then you're going to multiply 10 times 10, which is equal to 100. So your final answer is 4.83 hundredths. Now next we have 7.41 hundredths. So notice that the 1 is in the hundredths place and 4 is in the tens place. So first I'm going to multiply 741 times 34. And when you do that, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16. And then we have 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Bring down your 0. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 7 is 21. So we are going to write that down. 21 plus 1 is 22. 4 plus 0 is 4, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 2 is 11. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Bring down your 2. So I'm going to move my decimal over twice right here and moving it over once right here. So I need to move my decimal over 3 times. 1, 2, 3, right here. So that means that my answer is going to be 25 and 194 thousandths because we are multiplying in the thousands. Notice that this denominator right here is in the thousands. For problem D, we have 5 times 0, which is equal to 0. 5 times 5 is 10, or 25. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Bring down your 0 because you're multiplying in your tens place. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 is 26. Add everything together and you get 29.25. Don't forget to move your decimal over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So your answer is going to equal to 29 and 250 thousandths, or 29 and 25 hundredths. I'm going to highlight this so you can see what I did there for the fractions. Now over here we have a word problem. For number 4, it says Eric buys 2.5 pounds of cashews. If each pound of cashew costs $7.70, how much will he pay for the cashews? So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying $7.70 times 2.5. 0 times 5 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 5 again is 35, plus 3 is equal to 38. Bring down your 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 7 is 14. And 2 times 7 again is 14, plus 1 is 15. Add 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 4 is equal to 12. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Bring down your 1. You're going to move your decimal over 3 times, so this one twice and this one once. So you get 2 plus 1, which is equal to moving it over 3 times. So that means that your answer is $19.25 for his cashews. Now over here it says a swimming pool at a park measures 9.75 meters by 7.2 meters. Taking those numbers, you're going to multiply because they're asking you to find the area. An area basically is you're multiplying the dimensions of the base times the height. Okay, so we have 9.75 times 7.2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 7 times 5, oh, don't forget to bring down your 0 because you're multiplying in your tens place. 7 times 5 is equal to 35. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3 is going to give you 52. And 7 times 9 is 63, plus 1, oh no, plus 3, 63, plus 5, sorry, is going to give you 68. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 5 is 10, 9 plus 2 is 11, plus 1 is 12, 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10, 6 plus 1 is 7. And you're going to move your decimal over twice right here and 1 time right here, so that's 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So the area of the pool is 70.2 square feet, or meters square. The last question, the area of the playground is 1.5 times that of the swimming pool. Find the total area of the swimming pool and the playground. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply 1.5, so 1.5. 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, 5 times 7 is 35. Bring down your 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 7 is 7. 0 plus 0 is 0, 2 plus 1 is 3, 5 plus 0 is 5, and 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. I'm going to make sure I move my decimal over twice. So 1, 2. And on this side, I'm going to take that number 105.30 and add 70.2 from the previous problem. So take this number and bring it down. 3 plus 2 is 5. Align your decimal, bring it down. 5 plus 0 is 5, and 7 plus 0 is 7. 1, you bring it down. So the total area is 175 meters square. And that is your final answer. Let me know if you have any questions in class.